We are entering week 4 of the war with Iran, and President Trump has this encouraging message, quote, "We are getting very close to meeting our objectives as we consider winding down our great military efforts in the Middle East." Meanwhile, Saturday in America is uncovering several Democrats who appear to have flip-flopped on the nation's threat level. First up, Senator Chris Murphy.
Yes, it is true. Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon than ever before.
A military action to eliminate Iran's nuclear program, just totally unnecessary.
And then there is Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
If the sanctions fail and military action is warranted, a re-elected President Obama is far more likely to launch that kind of military action, probably in concert with Israel.
This administration is signaling more escalation ahead. This is insanity.
And here's Vice Chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner.
I would hope that we could continue to ratchet up pressure from not just our sanctions, but also more of the Europeans as well. We've got to try to find ways to get rid of that regime, though. There was no imminent threat to the United States, and I don't believe there was even an imminent threat to Israel from Iran.
But if Democrats think that their theater is hurting President Trump, CNN just issued a brutal fact check.
The president's overall approval rating? It's the same. It's the same. It was 41% before the current war in Iran started, and it is 41% now. So despite, again, all the hubbub, despite all the critics of the president of the United States, what we are seeing right now is a president whose approval rating is steady, and this has not been a big deal politically.
Well, maybe it remains unchanged because Americans realize that the president is committed to winning. CENTCOM posting this strike video last night that you're looking at. Commander Brad Cooper says that more than 8,000 targets have been hit and 130 Iranian vessels struck, making this, quote, the largest elimination of a Navy over a 3-week period since World War II. Let's bring in Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer. Dakota, great to speak with you. The president put out that message that things are winding down, but there have been 3 amphibious assault ships sent towards the region, roughly 2,500 additional Marines sent to the region. So what do you make of what's happening? Where do you think we stand?
Look, I think what's going on is this is what happens when we have an administration that we can trust, and an administration that promises and delivers on America first, and that is going to do whatever they can to win, right? I mean, this is what the president ran on. This is the administration that he built with his cabinet members. I mean, look, I think I can't sit here and tell you. I don't know that any of us know what the president's going to do, which I think is a great thing. You know, we've seen past leaders come out and say, this was our objectives that we're trying to reach, which why would you tell the enemy that, right? You know, we did that in Afghanistan. We told the Taliban, they knew we were leaving. They waited us out, and then they turned around and turned it straight into even arguably worse than when we went there, right? So, you know, you have a president who's literally putting America first. You have an administration that can handle that. And then, you know, all I hear people complaining about really is what they think the president's going to do. You know, people are arguing about boots on the ground and this and that. Like, the president is the president. He won the election by an overwhelmingly amount of American voters. And, like, everybody needs to sit back and allow this man to go do what he has promised on every single time that he was going to do. And he's been successful at it. He's successful, and he's been successful over and over. But it's like, oh, the next time he's going to mess up. Look, he's done nothing but especially when it comes to the military and the security of our country, to give us anything other than to trust him that he's going to get this done. He's going to put America first, and he's going to do it the most effective and efficient way possible.
Dakota, and we know MAGA is 100% behind him. That's what CNN reported. That's 3 digits. I do want to put this up. This was significant. It happened overnight. Iran launched some missiles towards a place called Diego Garcia. Now, why is this significant? Here's why. We thought, and Iran had said, that they have missiles that could go 2,000 kilometers. But in fact, the missile that was launched went about 4,000 kilometers, meaning 2,500 miles. And all that translates to the fact that American interests could be at risk outside of this circle, Dakota. So Iran does have the capability to hit our country, to hit our bases. Yeah, I mean, look, I think if you're living in a world right now where you think that
we live in a country where they can't touch us here. I mean, we've had open borders for the last 4 years, right? I mean, we've seen over and over that people are here. You know, they hit us here in 2001. I mean, the reality is that, you know, between technology and all these other aspects that are coming in that are allowing these terrorists, these people who hate America, to be able to advance their interest and to be able to come up with capabilities to be able to harm us here in America. No longer do we live in a world that we can just sit here and have two oceans on either side of us and geographically be thankful that we're not near anybody and they can't touch us and we're safe. Like, we're not allowed to just sit here and hope that it doesn't come here or that it's not going to come here. Like, we are in a position this day in the age, this day in the world, and that's why it's so, we got to be so thankful that we have a president and administration who's willing to go on the offense instead of sit back here in the defense and hope and pray that it just doesn't happen here and allow these terrorist organizations to, you know, set the tables and then always keep America on the defense. And we got to be thankful. Look, it's so great that we have you know, what we're seeing is a president and administration who's using in the military what we call decentralized command. You know, he's got people in place who are making decisions. He's taking in all this information, and ultimately he's making the decisions and having the courage to trust his people to do this in a way. I mean, look, we are so thankful that the Secretary of War, we got someone leading that who has actually been on the ground, you know, who's been on the ground within the last 20 years, who's seen the consequences of the decision. And I think that this is a very important piece of what's going on right now and why we're fighting the way that we are, so that we don't have to lose people that we you know, unnecessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. Dakota Meyer, Medal of Honor recipient. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.